Right then, hello and welcome to the review of the FV215b with Otto Carius on Xbox console. What we're going to do then first of all at this point is just have a little bit of look, talk about the outside of the tank first of all, then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the detailing of the armour thickness and so on, and obviously what to take out on it, and consumables and so on. Then after that we'll have a little bit of a chat about what skill perks to take out with it and so on. And then we'll try and take it out and hopefully get a good battle at the end of it. Right then, so as you can see, the predominant feature of the FV215b is a rear turreted vehicle. On many occasions you will see very experienced players using terrain or other tanks that are there, or even tank wrecks in that sense, and basically side scraping from them. The way that they'll do this, they'll put the front end in towards something that's in cover, and then they'll pull back, take the shot. Because they can do that, they'll step the back end out and they'll get the turret out and still leave the front of the vehicle in cover. But there's also a bit of a flaw with this tank if you was to try and attempt that. The simple fact is, if you were to, say if you're looking at the front on, I'm in cover at this point, I take the back end out, so I change to this angle and I reverse, and then for me to take the gun out, you are then going to look at the side of the turret with the hull section on it, but that is actually faced at a diagonal. When you're given that angle, you are actually going to give them a bit of a flat point to hit, and it's right there underneath the turret on the hull section, okay? So when they hit that, it's going to become a flat point for them. They are basically going to simply hit that for very experienced players in the know about where the weak point is. The front of the tank, yes, it's very armoured, as you can see, decent angling, and the armour thickness is quite decent in that sense. We'll get down to the thickness in a moment. But the side of the tank as well, yes, it can be quite decent for side scraping, but then again, you do prepare to get tracked quite often. There's no real armour plating around the tracks. The turret obviously is a bit of a weak point if people was to focus on it, especially around about the turret ring, okay? Yes, it's a small target to hit from distance, but believe you me, there will be tanks out there that can hit that, okay? Obviously any type of side hits or anything, or the back hits or anything, it's going to be a big problem for it. The top of the cupola, where the command attach is, it can be quite bouncy, but then again people can still penetrate it. As you can see, there is various lips on it and flat points on it as well, so they can actually hit that. But this cannon itself is truly awesome. Long distance shooting, you can have very good accuracy on it in that sense. Let's go down to the packages on it. The package for accuracy on your cannon, which is 122mm gun, and the accuracy is 0.33, so therefore you're going to get a very small aiming circle for long distance shooting. If you want to hit something that's maybe 300-400 meters away and you want to hit the track, or if you want to hit the wheel in that sense, pretty much you can do it with this tank, okay? But the aiming time, 1.70 seconds. The ability on this tank to get that aiming circle down really quickly without using equipment and so on to get it down is welcome, so therefore you can at this point use your equipment that you do have on something else instead of basically maybe vertical stabilizers and so on. But the turret itself, as you can see, 254 arm on the front and 152 on the side and 102 on the back. But the angling on this the turret itself, they're pretty much guaranteed to get a bounce off it, unless they're aiming the weak point around the bottom of the turret ring, or they get lucky in a cupola's hatch, okay, commander's hatch. Engine power, 950 horsepower. Not too bad. It's quite quick for a tier 10. Not the fastest, but it's quick, it's manageable. So what we'll do at this point, we'll actually go down to the section of the supplies. We are looking at basically your shells that you do get. Armour piercing, which is looking at 300 to 500 damage. Penetration is looking at 194 to 324. And the armour piercing composite ridge, same damage, 3 to 500, but penetration steps up dramatically at that point at 245 to 408. So when you come up against some very thick, heavily armoured tier 10s, or even some tier 9s in that sense that most tanks can't penetrate, with this shell, you pretty much, more than likely in most occasions, could be guaranteed a penetration hit, as long as you don't hit on very sloped armour, or bulbous armour, such as the E5 and E4s, because obviously, as you know, they're curved, and obviously you try and hit one of those, you've got to really place it as much as you can on a flat point. High explosive in this terms, Hesh on this one, which is 90mm penetration and 150 with 386 to 644 damage. If you are in a position where you're going to hit, you can't penetrate something like a Jagdpanzer E100 in that sense, that's hull down or something in distance. If you want to try and hit that, the top part of its superstructure basically, you're not going to be able to penetrate it on most occasions. But when you use this shell, you're guaranteed to get some penetration because you're hitting a flat point, and it will give you something in terms of damage on the enemy tank. So if you do take a number of them out, I took around about 4 out yesterday, and I wish I had another 5 or 6 to finish it off. Because you're only doing around about 105 to 148 damage with that type of superstructure armour. But now I've increased it to 8. It will be very welcomed indeed, and the reload on this is 7.31 I think, or something like that, but we'll double check it when we roll out. Right then, so basically equipment that I've got is obviously binoculars. We've got a large cannon with good accuracy, so therefore we want to see that little bit extra just to make sure we get some nice long shots in. As you can see, on most occasions on certain tanks I will use a large caliber tank gun rammer. Simple fact is I want to make sure I can get another shot out before the enemy in that sense, so maybe I can survive a little bit longer. Improved ventilation for skills and perks and so on. Crew skills, not perks. We need that in that sense on many occasions, but it depends on what you want to do as your setup in that sense, but that's just what I use personally. So what we're going to do now at this point, we've done a little bit of a walkthrough of the tank itself on the outside, and we'll have a look at the detailing of it as well. We are basically going to simply roll out in it, and we're going to take it from the game. As you can see at the moment, I've got repairs on it, brothers in arms, and I think it was put on there, it's storage, so to speak. Yeah, because obviously it does get ammo quite often. I want 6 cents on it because this tank itself is a very large tank. If you do get detected, you will not lose your detection quickly indeed. So my findings are, if you're going to use this, get the basics of your crews and perks on, but then do try and put your anything for accuracy on the cannons, for you want to get some more longer shots in and make sure they're hitting the targets. But I would recommend in that sense anything to do with camouflage, so maybe put a camouflage perk on it, a muffle shot in that sense, or green finger perk on it and so on. It will help you out a lot, believe you me, it will. So what we'll do, we'll just roll out in it and we'll take it from that point on. So people at this moment in time, yes, they are watching live, but if you're going to be watching on YouTube later on, then by all means leave a comment, and obviously if you find anything out that you know that I don't know, then by all means share it, and or if you want some more questions answered, just write a comment and I'll get back to you with it. So we'll load out then and take it from there. Oh, see, at the moment, Reese, with the stream, I can see it perfect, mate, so I don't know what's going on with that one. Anyway, it's still rain. We'll take it from there and see what we can do on this one. We have a good game, but it's, as today's theme's gone, we've not been having good games at all in these tanks. But we'll see what happens. The main thing on this one is big concern is overexposing, trying to get that turret over the ridge to be able to take some shots, but we'll see what position that we actually do get to and what we can deal with. Ooh, glowing pairs on the opposite team in the same tank that I'm in as well. I hope to God it doesn't in a tank review. But we shall see. But as you can see, yes, compared to many other tanks out in battle, you are a very large tank, and I do apologise in advance, I was trying to go behind you. But as you can see, the little brother, the Conqueror, that is a truly awesome tank, but very slow in reverse. If you do get detected in that, you are not going to get out of there alive, unless you are in a nice position. But as you can see, that's a forward turreted vehicle, or mid turreted vehicle. And this is a rear one, so you've got different problems with this type of... Ooh, we've just bluffed that shot, haven't we? But nevertheless, we've got some spotted damage, so we got something out of it. Would have been nice to get a full 400 hit though, wouldn't it, really? Ooh, the T10's having a little bit there. And we've got an E4, so, right, I'm going to change the shell. Simple fact is I want to guarantee some penetration hits on something like that. Because the normal shell, you'd have to place it on a side shot generally, or you get very lucky on the front bulbous section of it. As you can see, Pairs here. We're going to go through the turret ring, but we've got no penetration hit. Could he hit mine? E4 on the machine gun port, it actually does have penetration on that one. Do get confused between that and the E3, because the E3 you can't really penetrate. Premium rounds straight through the T10. Obviously I shouldn't be reviewing a tank with premium rounds in, but the tanks that we're coming up against, we need them. Because we are at this point dealing with everything frontally at this point. So we had 2 hits and the other team is now backed off. We don't want to be overexposing over this ridge, so I'll have a little look on what else is there. Then we'll take a push back. Hopefully the boys on the right hand side can push in and take the different angle in the approach. But I think if I catch up with them as well, we can also join in with a bit of the fun. As you can see, the turret traverse on this is very quick indeed, and it is very welcomed. No shots on the T57 Heavy. Can we reposition for a better shot? There we go, 350, not the biggest hit. Low roll, so to speak. We just missed the AM46 pattern. As you can see, using these rear turreted vehicles on maps just like this can be an absolute pain. But it is about positioning. So it's a very slow paced game at this moment in time. I'm going to try and go out a little bit wider around the Conqueror and so on. I can actually try and deal with the E100. And again, if I'm going to overexpose on the wrong connection, there we go, 367 on the top of the E100. As you can see, accuracy is awesome. That to actually hit that. And same again for the 401. Is Glowing Pear still alive? No, he's not. He's been killed. It would have been nice if I killed him, as he is in our clan. Did I just bounce off that? I certainly did. We just can't get a break, can we, guys? 5 hits, 2 spotted hits, not enough. We don't really want to kill. You can get a bit more damage out there, so you can at least see the potential of it. But at this point, we're rolling in force. Not going to be the best review, is it, really? But nevertheless, it's all about information and maybe just having a little bit of a gameplay with it as well, so you can see what it can do, and also the complications of using it. Right, so if we was to get around about G5, G6, we could probably get some nice long shots in with the other tanks on the ridge at the opposite side, and I guarantee that some should be around about HJ9 and so on. Right, so E75. Do we have any shots on the E75? No, we don't. I don't want to overexpose at this point. There we go, I've got Indian Panzer. This could be a bounce. Oh no, we got a full penetration hit. Ooh, talking of bounces, I got the wrong shell in. Now we're detected at the chain of shell. Nothing there to worry about in terms of not being able to penetrate certain tanks. T30 got a tracked hit. That was it. The reload might allow me to get the kill. There we go. Ooh, KV4. Yes, I am detected. I may have just lost it though. Oh, we didn't get the penetration, did we? Can these boys get the reset on this map or not? Right, I'm going to try and close the gap here now for some more hits. KV4 on the side of the turret. 425, nice flat point for that target. Can we get straight through his track? No need to, no need. So now the Indian Panzer may have regrouped with the E75. Then again, oh no he hasn't, he's come towards base. There we go, accuracy on this cannon is absolutely awesome. Right then boys, so there you have it, the FV215 View Tier 10 heavy tank. In terms of damage, let's have a look at what we've done. So therefore, yes, it does make quite a bit of money sometimes if you do get out there. You do at least get some of these hits in there. So 3,103 damage, assisted 1,134. As you can see, the view range on it is quite decent. It does help to at least obtain Mark of Excellence, and obviously a bit more silver and experience. Yeah, granted we didn't come top in this one, obviously, but therefore, nevertheless, Glorian Pairs did come a little bit lower than that, which he did no damage, which was very shameful. Glorian Pairs, very shameful indeed. Well, efficiency. So we hit the T57 heavy. Or did we not? No, we got some spotter damage on him. Spot damage the all you because I don't remember hitting one of those at all. The KV4, yes, we did hit him. We took him for a bit of damage, but not too much. T30 got a track. Indian Panzer, he received a bit off me in that sense. The E100, yeah, 768, so that was quite decent. And obviously we spotted Glorian Pairs, I think that was. E4, he received damage from me in that sense, but 428, so it wasn't too bad as well. 412 for the T10. So it wasn't the best in terms of distance shooting and so on, obviously the situation that we were within. But nevertheless, we got a victory, we survived, we got a bit of silver in the meantime as well. So the FV215b, to summarise it, it's a good all-round tank, no matter what map you're in, what scenario that you're in, who you're up against, or what tank's coming your way. The reload can back you up with that, the traverse can also help you out. So if a scout or medium does get around the side of you, you can turn the whole thing around, and the turret moves that quick, it will stick onto the target all the way around as well. So as you can see, that's a very welcome feature for many. Truly awesome, and it's fast becoming one of my favourite tier 10s in the game. And to be honest, I've always been the player that I would only use something such as the German. As you can see, majority of my tanks are all German, with a mixture of a few Russians as well. At some point we'll hopefully get a little bit like the E100 and obviously do up of excellence just like this one. But the FV215b, yeah, truly awesome. I've had it around about 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 2 days, something like that. Damage standing so far, we're looking at 77.53. Not there for the second mark yet, but as you can see, survivability is not that great in the terms of battles that I've had. But enemies destroyed, we obviously are above than what we've played in battle, so therefore we've got a few more kills in every battle really in that sense. But hit ratio, expecting 81%. I reckon the next couple of days I will maybe get around about to 85%, but we'll see. But the Conqueror at the moment is 92, 95, so if you do love the Conqueror and you do well in it, by all means you will also love the FV215b. But the Conqueror itself, yeah, it's exactly the same. The hull's slightly different and it's a rear turreted vehicle. This one's, so to speak, we call it mid in that sense, or it looks a bit more mid to me as a mid turreted vehicle. But either of them, once you experience a Conqueror and then you do experience this, you know exactly what I mean with being detected and how to lose your detection. It is a very lowish tank indeed. So there you have it, guys. The review is all finished, FV215b. If you do see it on YouTube in that sense and you do want to leave a little bit of a comment, feel free to do so. Don't forget to follow as well. Maybe subscribe to the YouTube, and if you want, subscribe to the TV as well. And obviously, anybody who does subscribe, they do get priority as well, and they do receive this for the World of Tanks Xbox League WTXL store as well, so you'll all be welcome with a 5% discount code for the store. So there he is. Thanks for tuning in, boys, and hope to see you on the battlefield soon.